And we got some journal updates based on the messages we read. We'll look at the journal after we're done looking at the Normandy. The elevator's over here, but there's more stuff on this deck. Like the armory. Let's see what this is.
What's this area of the ship?
This is the armory, where small arms are maintained and upgraded. Using Omni-Tool, computer-aided design, and manufacturing, we have the capability to manufacture several new models.
Okay, good to know. There's a weapons locker here, which you can use to change your squad loadout. You also get the opportunity to do that before each mission, so this is not a particularly useful thing to do. And it seems that Jacob is stationed here. Let's talk to him.
Commander, there hasn't been time to really settle in and take stock. I want to say that working with you is a great opportunity to do something that matters. It's a privilege to serve on the Normandy, Commander.
You may change your tune if we end up like the original Normandy.
Maybe. As long as the elusive man walks his talk, and you do the same, I'll do my best to make sure we succeed. That's been the condition for my service so far. I have issues with certain actions Cerberus has taken in the past.
So do we, so that's at least something we have in common.
What has Cerberus done to make you nervous?
A lot. They've been called terrorists, and with good reason. Doubt you can find a more checkered past. But if the Collector threat is real, and we do something about it, Cerberus will be remembered differently. Or we'll all be tried and executed. Can't count on people thinking about it as hard as I have.
It's good to hear a clear opinion. Sounds like we're two of a kind.
That honors me more than you, Commander. Let me know if you need anything.
Can actually talk to him about some more stuff.
Commander, can I help you with something?
I'm more interested in just talking for a bit.
Already? I'm not big on forcing these talks, Shepard. Let's do this later.
Apparently Jacob does not feel like talking. At least not about himself. One thing I really don't like about this, if you're playing as FemShep, is Jacob is actually one of the romanceable characters for FemShep. Probably the one I'd least like for FemShep as far as romances go, because he has some really corny dialogue in his romance scenes. But the thing is that even if you don't want to romance him, FemShep always acts really flirty in these scenes when you're talking to Jacob, which is just seems really incongruous. But anyway.
How are we doing, Jacob? What's your sense of the mission?
Probably the same as everyone else. I just want to figure out what the real threat actually is. Got no problem with risk. I just need a clear goal. Anything else, Commander?
What do you think of the state of the crew?
We don't have a full complement. We don't stand a chance without the right specialists on side. Anything else, Commander?
Yeah, well, currently we only have you and Miranda, so saying we don't have a full complement is kind of an understatement.
I understand you made quite an impact after you left the Alliance.
Miranda and I stopped a Batarian plan to release a biological agent on the Citadel. That's when I first met her. It took us out to the Nemean Abyss and back. Saved the Citadel like you, but what's the saying? A good deed's like pissing yourself in dark pants? Warm feeling, but no one notices. The whole thing was hushed like they're good at doing. But I know what I did, and I'm proud of it.
The events he's talking about are actually part of the iPhone game Mass Effect Galaxy, which I haven't played, but I have read about, so I kind of know what it was about. It was about what he just said.
We'll talk later.
Commander.
Of course, going back to talk to everyone will become a large part of our routine, as always. Even more so than in the previous game, actually. And from here we have a view of the engine room. That's our new drive core. Even bigger than the old one. There's a room on the other side, which you can see from here, and I'm trying to get to see if you can actually look into the engineering, but you can sort of see it down there, but can't quite get a right angle. I guess if we were actually here, you might be able to see it, but not with the limitations of the game's control. Quite a lot of weapons here. Assault rifles, sniper rifles, more sniper rifles, a shotgun, pistols, more shotguns, no SMGs. I feel insulted. And there's the I think that's a grenade launcher. It's one of the heavy weapons anyway. Let's see where this goes. The briefing comm room. Let's see what this is.
What's this area of the ship?
This is the FTL Communications Room. In addition to interfacing with the FTL comm network, Normandy is fitted with a quantum entanglement communicator linked to the Elusive Man's office. This allows lag-free communication even when you operate off the comm grid.
Why aren't these used everywhere?
Each quantum pair costs nearly as much as a comm relay, and can pass only one quantum bit of data at a time. In addition to the cost and bandwidth issues, the system is strictly point-to-point. To contact 100 different worlds, we would need to manufacture and install 100 entangled pairs, one linked to each world.
I've never heard of a quantum entanglement communicator. How does it work?
Essentially, two subatomic particles are created in an entangled state. One is installed here, and the other in the Elusive Man's office. When one particle occupies a given quantum state, its entangled partner will always enter the opposite state, no matter the distance between them. If we alter the state of our particle, that alters the state of the Elusive Man's. This allows us to send data in the form of quantum bits.
This is actually a real scientific concept, and it's not just theoretical. This is something that has been done. We can create quantum entangled pairs of particles, mostly photons. I think they may have been able to do it with mass-carrying particles, but I'm not entirely sure of that. I think the main problem with the idea they propose here is that, as far as I remember, in a real quantum entangled pair, as soon as you manipulate the one, it does the other does take on the opposite state. But the original particle loses its state, and I think the entanglement is actually broken at the moment you do that. Sorry I felt silent there, but we just had a minor earthquake. They're quite common here in Japan. This was very, very minor though. Barely noticeable. Except that I can see my monitors move. The quantum entanglement is actually a result of a thought experiment that Einstein came up with, which he came up with to prove that quantum theory couldn't be correct. Because he said, well, this way of doing things would imply a form of communication between these particles that is faster than light, which, according to the theory of relativity, is impossible. Yet they did it, and that's exactly what happens, and no, we have no idea how it works. It's just one of the ways in which relativity and quantum theory are not unifiable at the moment, and why we don't yet have a grand unified theory, because we don't really understand how any of this works. There's just so much about the universe that we don't yet know. We'll get there eventually. It might take a couple of eons, but anyway. This is actually also known as the Einstein-Podolsky-Rosen experiment, because those are the people who came up with the thought experiment. And the term Einstein-Podolsky-Rosen, that combination, you might know that if you're a fan of sliders, because they sort of took that term to use as the explanation for how the slider technology worked, even though it has nothing to do with that.
That's all for now.
Logging you out, Shepard.
Anyway, we have a direct link for with the Elusive Man, which also works when we're not near any comm relays, which is nice for him, I guess. And over here, the tech lab, but you can see by the light on the door, it's locked.
A scientist is required to use the technical laboratory.
So we need to recruit Morden before we can actually go in there.
Commander, you've received a new message at your private terminal.
In the time that I was in the armory? Really? Also the galaxy map, of course, still used to steer the ship. We'll be using that later, after we've seen the rest of the Normandy. Do we actually have any unrest messages? No. I guess she hadn't said it before, so I think she didn't know that we had already checked our messages. Another door to the tech lab here.
A scientist is required to use the technical laboratory.
But we can't use it from this side either. The elevator. Instead of seeing the elevator move, we actually just get a load screen this time. And we still have 3 more decks to check. Let's start with the captain's cabin, which used to be on deck 3 in the old Normandy. This Normandy is bigger, so now it's on deck 1. Actually, it used to be on deck 2, and the Combat Information Center used to be deck 1, because we only had 3 decks on the old Normandy. But anyway, it used to be near the crew quarters, is what I mean. There we go, deck 1, captain's cabin. Oh, we got quite a nicer cabin. We even have an aquarium, with currently no fish. That is something that can be rectified later, however. You can view our achievements here, which I won't do at the moment because you'll see achievements from my previous playthroughs, and some of them are kind of spoilers. A picture of Liara. I guess Shepard wants to be reminded of her. Wonder if we'll ever see her in this game. And a model of the Normandy. And lots of space for more models, which we can also get during this game. You can also exit your private terminal from here, but that's the same as downstairs, so there's no point in doing that at the moment. Down here we've got a couch and a table with some glasses on it, which, if we ever get into another fight, are just begging to be broken if you don't put them away. The bed conveniently has 2 pillows. It's a double bed, so if we do meet up with Liara again or decide to romance someone else, we have a place for that to take place, I guess. There's an alarm clock here, which is also a sound system. And you can use it to play some music. You can select several different tracks. Not sure how many there actually are. I don't know. Let's leave it. For now, I might switch it later. And here we can customize our appearance, both our armor and our casual appearance. You can pick between different types of armor. Currently we're wearing standard N7 armor. We can also use the Cerberus armor that we got a message from the Elusive Man about. But, like I said, this armor has a helmet, which you cannot remove, which is why I don't like it. You can also equip a helmet with your regular armor, just a normal N7 helmet, and the Briefer helmet, which you will also wear automatically during missions that take place in a no oxygen environment, or a toxic environment. But I like to be able to see Shepard's face. You can customize various bits of the armor, but you actually need to get some of those things before you can do that, and we don't have any right now. And you can customize the material and various colors and patterns and stuff, and I am really not interested in doing that. We can also select a casual outfit. There's this one. This is kind of a formal looking uniform, Cerberus outfit. There's whatever the hell this is. And if you really want to look like a redneck, I suppose you can. I'm gonna pick this one. I don't particularly like any of them that much. But anyway, in Mass Effect 3 you get a leather jacket, which I'd like much more. But I'm gonna pick this one. We will be getting one more casual outfit later on. And that's it for our quarters for now. Oh, we can actually ask Edie about them as well, I suppose.
What's this area of the ship?
This is the commanding officer's quarters.
It's larger than the quarters of other warships I've served on.
This is a Cerberus vessel, not an Alliance warship. Accommodations have been made for personal taste. That said, this space is directly under the exterior pressure hull. The fitting yard workers called it the loft.
So we live in the loft. Nice. And I actually forgot we also have a bathroom, which you can go into. We have a shower, which you can't use, and a toilet, which we can flush it. And I guess we can check our hair or something. Can't wash our hands. Storage closet kinda empty. Don't you need any bathroom supplies, Shepard? Don't even have a tube of toothpaste in there. Alright. Let's move on. Crew's quarters. Alright, let's take a look. There's a couple of new things there compared to the old Normandy. Not all of which we can access right now, but still. Women's restroom. The Forbidden Land.
Shepard, the men's restroom is on the port side of the ship.
As I said, the Forbidden Land. Starboard observation.
The starboard observation deck is closed until needed.
Which basically means that we need to recruit a crew member that will hang out there before we can go in there. Crew quarters.
Oh, she's a cutie. How old?
She'll be a year old next month.
Oh, you'll miss her first birthday.
Well, my family lives in New Canton.
Oh, that colony's on the edge of the frontier. Could be vulnerable to collector attack, couldn't it?
Exactly. It's most important that she have a first birthday. That's why I'm here.
Overhearing private conversations is still an important part of the game. We'll hear more about these two story over the course of the game. You can't actually talk to them, but anyway. Don't think there's anything else here. Other than that, just some lockers and some bunks and some drawers. I prefer my quarters. On this side, life support.
Access to life support is restricted.
Again, we'll be able to get in there later. Port observation, same story.
The port observation deck is closed until needed.
Men's restroom, which is the one we're supposed to use. Unlike the one in my quarters, you can't flush these. If you want to shower here with 3 people at the same time, they have to be really good friends, don't they? Let's head down here. Mess hall. bit bigger than the original, but layout is kind of the same. And apparently Miranda's office is on this side. Let's check in on her.
Commander, what can I do for you?
You have a minute, Miranda?
No doubt you've got a lot of questions. Cerberus isn't as evil as most people believe. If I can help allay any of your concerns, I'd be happy to do so. So, what would you like to know?
I know what we're doing here, but what's Cerberus's long-term goal?
The advancement of the human race. Nothing more, nothing less. The Solarians have the Special Tasks Group. The Asari have their legendary commandos for stealth and recon operations. Cerberus is humanity's answer to those organizations.
But those organizations are regulated by governments. Who keeps Cerberus in check?
Nobody. We're privately funded and our backers trust the elusive man to make the right decisions. But he's very clear about our goals. Protect humanity and serve its advancement.
Right. They're kind of like Section 31, aren't they?
Are you military or political? Or both?
Cerberus has several divisions. Political, military, scientific. But we're all working towards the same goal. The teams you encountered before your accident were mostly part of our military division. But not all Cerberus operations use the same protocols. We try not to get bogged down in bureaucracy or formality.
So, which of these was responsible for killing Admiral Kohoku? Because I'd like to meet them and then, shoot them. I guess we already did, but anyway.
What kind of resources does Cerberus have?
We're very well funded, though I doubt anyone other than the elusive man knows exactly how well. But our resources aren't unlimited. Reviving you and rebuilding the Normandy was a significant investment, and a significant risk. We're all hoping you can do the impossible, Shepard. No pressure.
What can you tell me about the elusive man?
Not much that you don't already know. Even I don't have access to most of his background. And you've seen more of him than most ever do. It's rare for him to become directly involved in missions, but you're something special. Whatever else people might say about him, I can assure you he's got humanity's best interests at heart. That includes you and me.
How can you be sure of that if you know so little about him?
I didn't get to where I am without knowing how to gauge people's motives and ambitions, even from brief encounters. He's no saint, and he'd be the first to admit it. But he is committed. Humanity couldn't have a better advocate.
But the elusive man is actually known for being very, very good at hiding his true motives. Also, I know his real name, haha.
Tell me about yourself, Miranda.
Oh, I guess that's fair. I've spent the last 2 years learning everything there is to know about you. Well, you should probably know that I've had extensive genetic modification. Not my decision, but I make the most of it. It's one of the reasons the elusive man handpicked me. I'm very good at just about anything I choose to do.
Genetically modified? So not only do we have GLaDOS on board, also Khan, Nooney, and Singh. Great.
You certainly don't lack for confidence.
It's just a fact. My reflexes, my strength, even my looks, they're all designed to give me an edge. No point in hiding from it. It's the reason I'm trusted to oversee the most dangerous, risky, and technically demanding operations Cerberus undertakes. And it's why I was assigned to you. It's my job to make sure you succeed, Shepard.
Now it's my job to make sure I succeed.
What level of genetic modification are we talking about?
That's very thorough. Physically, I'm superior in many ways. I heal quickly, and I'll likely live half again as long as the average human. My biotic abilities are also very advanced. For a human. Add to that some of the best training and education money can buy, and, well, it's pretty impressive, really.
Somebody screwed up with your teeth, though.
Sounds like you were designed to be perfect.
Maybe, but I'm not. I'm still human, Shepard. I make mistakes like everyone else. And when I do, the consequences are severe. Everyone expects a lot from someone with my abilities.
Thanks for the information, Miranda. I'll talk to you later.
Of course, Commander. Whatever you need.
We actually have a couple more options we can talk to with her.
Commander,
Talk
what
with
can
her
I do
about.
for you?
Anything I should know regarding the Normandy?
The crew's working well, and the ship appears to be performing to specifications.
Well, that didn't really tell us anything.
What exactly are your duties, aside from keeping an eye on me?
I'm the elusive man's agent. You're his most important asset. My job is to make sure you succeed. Aside from that, I send regular reports to the elusive man, updating our status.
Okay.
I'll let you work.
Of course, Commander.
Fair enough, I suppose. And this is actually where the old captain's quarters used to be. She also has quite an impressive bedroom compared to most of the other crew members, although not quite as nice as the commander's quarters.
Chef surprise again? Come on, Rupert.
I'm sorry, Princess. Filet mignon and caviar coming right up. Let me just get out my doilies.
That'd be real nice, Mr. Gardner.
He's the cook, I gather.
Commander Shepard, the hero of the Citadel. You did humanity proud that day. Miss Sergeant Rupert Gardner here. How can I be of service?
Gardner is voiced by Bill Ratner, the narrator of King's Quest VI, who also voices Undina, among others.
You have everything you need.
I make do. But have you ever tried to prepare a decent meal with military provisions? I'm good, but I'm no miracle worker. Taking down the collectors is going to be rough business. The crew deserves a few fine meals before they throw themselves into the fire.
What do you need?
If I had some quality ingredients... Oh, shit. You've got more to worry about than grocery shopping on the Citadel. Forget I mentioned it.
If I head that way, I'll keep an eye out.
Much appreciated. Most of this list is probably standard fare for those namby-pambies on the Citadel. Anything else you'd like to talk about?
What do you do here on the Normandy?
What don't I do? Most think of me as the ship's cook, but I'm also the facilities technician and custodian. HVAC, plumbing, non-mission critical electrical. I make sure they're all clean and running.
So the man cleaning the toilets is also preparing the meals.
I wash my hands. Most of the time. This ain't no luxury liner. You have to pull your own weight in a Cerberus vessel, and I catch what falls through the cracks. Through the cracks.
Okay, I guess we'll be eating out a lot.
How do you feel about working for Cerberus?
Damn proud. Cerberus gets the job done. The Alliance and Council have got their heads buried so deep up their butt puckers they can't see squat. It'll take good old human ingenuity to crush these collector vermin. Only Cerberus knows that.
How did you find your way into Cerberus?
Can you believe I was once a family man, working the EZO rigs along the frontier? I was happy enough, but losing everything to Batarian raiders can change your outlook. I needed to make a difference. I'm no soldier, but I've got skills, and Cerberus keeps an eye out for talent. I'll do whatever it takes to help, be that plumbing a sewer, routing an air duct, or keeping everyone's bellies full.
I won't take any more of your time.
Back to work.
Well, back to standing there is a more accurate description of what you're actually doing. The sleeping pods and the main battery, apparently.
The gunnery officer is required to access the gunnery control station.
Someone else we're gonna have to recruit at some point.